Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for day number 4 of the 5th custom mail-in drag race tournament. In the first round is Big Daddy Craig, Lisa RN, Steve, and Blue Line is back again. And look at this, taking off almost immediately, crossing the finish line first. Blue Line is a threat in these tournaments. And look at that, a new fast time already. Up till now, the fastest time was 3.04, held by Evo Killer, who also represents Blue Line. But now they've technically broken their own record with a different vehicle and have taken the first win of today on top of it. I guess we're going to be seeing a lot of repeat racers. I'm just noticing that now. There goes Blue Line again, taking off, finishing in first once more. A little bit slower this time, although it's tied with their previous record. Yeah, I guess in this tournament we'll be seeing more repeat racers than usual, which I started to notice last time, but it seems to be becoming more apparent as we go. Lisa RN, Big Daddy Craig, and Steve have their hands full right now, because pretty much the moment those gates open, Blue Line is already half a length ahead of them. And that just continues to expand as the race progresses. Finishing now with a 3.03. They've either tied or beaten their previous record each race so far. And they're already moving on. That's how fast they're moving right now. We're barely even a couple minutes in, and Blue Line has already stamped their way to the next round for the second time. And as the race begins once more, Blue Line takes off, leaving everyone else in the dust. They did have a slight bit of competition from at least two of those racers, Lisa RN specifically, I believe. But even then, there was enough of a gap to distinguish who was really in the lead. And what was the time on that one? It was 3.05. Oddly enough, that was their slowest time out of those 4 runs, which is very concerning for everybody else. Blue Line will stay undefeated, at least for now. In the second round, we have CJ, Bobby, Wild Willie G again, and Scale Racing. And in this particular race, Scale Racing is the one that takes the lead. Getting the first win, they seem to start going sideways almost. But they still put up an impressive time of 3.07. Let's see what happens when they cross the finish line, because they seem to pop loose and start grinding the rail a little bit. Yeah, if you notice, they stayed off camera at the end. And now race number 2, can Scale Racing do it again? They had some competition from Wild Willie G, but they're pulling away, and they do grab the second win. This time with a slightly slower time of 3.09. At this point, especially with some of the times that Blue Line has been pulling off, as long as you finish beneath 3.10, you can rest a little bit more comfortably, but still, you want to be on your toes. Now for heat number 3, can Scale Racing do it again and automatically progress to the next round? It looks like they will. While Wild Willie G was trying to keep up with them, but started to slow down near the end. So that will decide it. There will still be one more race to see if they can remain undefeated. But at this point, all that matters is that they won the first 3 races, and they automatically move on. Can Wild Willie G, Bobby, or CJ stop Scale from staying undefeated? It looks like they will not, as Scale Racing gets an edge over the rest of them and wins a 4th consecutive race. And I believe 3.10 was their slowest time, which is still really good. But to think that Blue Line finished almost a 1/10 of a second faster than that. So now we have 2 undefeated racers out of today and 2 more rounds to go. And in this third round, we will have Chibi Moon, Leo, Scale Racing again, and Wild Willie G again. These two are about to have a rematch, it seems, although it's not looking good for Wild Willie G, because they just finished in 4th that time around. And now the fast time out of these 4 is 3.11. Which is still okay, but again, once you start going above 3.1 at this point, it's going to be a bit concerning. But Scale Racing, already having an undefeated racer in this video alone, is looking to get another one. But they are starting slow in this race. They do pick up speed at the bottom of the hill, and they take off, leaving everyone else far behind. Finishing now with a 3.09. That is a little better. It wasn't looking too good at the start of the race, but after they got to the flat part of the track, they started realizing where they were and picked up speed. Scale Racing is one more race away from getting a second vehicle in the next round, at least in this video. And it looks like they will do it. There's something about their start that's a little slow, but once they get going, they get going. And now they're looking to get 2 vehicles that have not lost a race yet. There might have been another one in a previous day, and I just don't remember because I'm only realizing recently that we're seeing racers with more than 1 entry. Really makes you wonder what's going to happen if some of them go up against each other. As we take off, it's a very familiar sight. Slow start for Scale, but then they pick up the speed they need and get the 4th win. Makes me wonder if we'll see Scale again in this last group for today. But they're averaging around 3.1, which is at least okay. It might all depend on who they go up against in the next rounds of the tournament. But now for the 4th round of today, those racers will be Lincoln Parker, Bobby, Oil Stain Engine, and End Count. I believe this is the first racer for each of them, and it looks like End Count will get the first victory, although it was not made easy for them. And they finished with a 3.08. So we'll see if End Count can make that happen again, or if they're going to have some competition from our other green friend over here, Lincoln Parker. I guess that's closer to yellow, but you get what I mean. Basically, those 2 racers are almost blending in with the track a bit. But as the second race begins, End Count gets an edge over Lincoln and gets win number 2. Finishing slightly quicker this time with 3.07. If you can show improvement early on, that'll definitely give people more confidence in you in next phases of the tournament, because you can show there's always room for improvement. And now End Count is just 1 win away. Can they do it? It's been looking pretty solid for them, although it's not the easiest victories we've seen. But that being said, they do get that win, so they will move on. Finishing even faster now with a 3.06. Now, can they finish in first in this last race with 3.05? If they do, that will be impressive. But they have to get past the other 3 first. And now they've switched lanes. The gates are open. They go down the hill. And End Count is trying to get that win. It looks like they will. They almost didn't. Lincoln Park almost stole it from them, but they managed to do it. Finishing with 3.08. So I believe that is 4 groups, and so far this is the only video we've had in this tournament where all 4 winners are undefeated. And it looks like there's a little bit of an error there saying Oil Stain Engine is moving on. But yep, they did fix it. End Count is the one moving on. So thank you all for watching. See you next time.